With the Washington State Legislature failing to pass a new drug possession bill, what does it mean once the current measure expires in July? And judges with Division III of the Washington State Court of Appeals went back to school Monday, answering questions from students at Chiawana High School.
And we have a look at your morning conditions, your first alert forecast right now.
From KapKView Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Riley Fitzgerald.
And Riley, it was a beautiful day yesterday once the sun kind of peeked out from those clouds.
There were a lot of clouds yesterday. We're looking at less of a cloudy day today. Let's take a look at your morning forecast. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're going to see an amazing week ahead of us. We're on a warming trend as we get towards the end of the week. A little bit of a breezy conditions, but they're lowering as we're going, and we've got some hot temps on the way. Very exciting. It's going to feel like spring by this week and maybe even summer into the weekend. Very excited about it. Let's talk about the daily planner. We're starting today in the mid 40s and reaching the late 60s in Yakima. In the Tri-Cities, going to be reaching the 70-degree mark. We're seeing a lot of sun and a lot of clouds this entire week long, and in the Walla Walla area, 48 into 66 degrees. Beautiful conditions coming up. I'll have more on my full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Riley. Washington state lawmakers failed to pass a new drug possession law before the session ended Sunday, leaving the state with a stopgap measure that expires on July 1st. Without a fix, that would leave drug possession rules in the hands of cities and counties, meaning the penalty for being caught with drugs could be very different depending on which side of the county line you fall on. And the local jurisdictions would have to come up with the money to pay for drug testing usually covered by the state.
The stopgap bill that gave us the 3 stops and then maybe go to jail will be gone as of 1st of July. And so it'll be up to individual cities and counties to make their own ordinances.
Lawmakers say they'll likely start negotiating again in a couple of days, and if they can come up with a new bill, the governor could call a special session for another vote. This morning, Governor Inslee is expected to sign a series of historic gun control bills into law. These are proposals that the governor has requested in some cases for years. House Bill 1240 is the assault weapons ban. Then there's Senate Bill 5078, which would make it easier for victims of violence to sue gun makers and sellers. And the governor is also expected to sign the controversial House Bill 1143, which would require safety training and a 10-day waiting period before you can buy a gun. That's expected later this morning at 10 o'clock. A 24-year-old woman is in jail after Yakima police say she killed a man at an apartment complex Sunday. Police say they got a call about an unresponsive man at an apartment on North 9th Street and found 26-year-old Hector Felix dead. 3 women were reportedly there during the incident and called 911, but the 24-year-old was the one arrested. Investigators say they're still looking into the details, but it doesn't appear to be a case of domestic violence.
They indicated that there had been an argument at the apartment, which resulted in what appears as Mr. Felix being strangled by a garment, possibly a hoodie.
The 24-year-old is being held in the Yakima County Jail and is facing charges of second-degree murder and second-degree assault. A teenager found dead on Benton County Railroad tracks early yesterday morning. According to the Benton County Sheriff's Office, a train conductor found a body Monday morning around 5:30. The Benton County coroner confirmed that it was 19-year-old Colette Tips out of Kennewick. BCSO detectives are investigating, and preliminary reports say she was struck by an earlier train, though the cause of death is still under investigation. This happened off of Badger Road and 823 Prairie Southeast in Benton County. The train was blocking the crossing after the discovery of the body. The road has since reopened. The Washington State Court of Appeals Division III heard oral arguments outside of its regular Spokane courtroom during a community visit to Pasco. The public was invited to Chiawana High School Monday morning to ask questions about the role of the Court of Appeals during Q&A sessions. Chiawana High School Principal Jaime Morales says this was the school's first time bringing in the judges, but it won't be the last.
And they reached out to Pasco School District and we said, absolutely, we'd love to host them and have them here and participate, give an opportunity for our kids to see this process. And being that's a little bit different court system than what we're historically used to knowing with the jury and everything, how the appeal court works.
These on-location Q&As were suspended in April 2020, but now that pandemic restrictions are over, they've been back at a few Eastern and Central Washington high schools. Division III of the Washington State Court of Appeals have visited Eisenhower High School in Yakima, North Central High School in Spokane, and now Chiawana High School in Pasco. A former Walla Walla doctor will have to pay more than $1 million to resolve accusations that he put patients through neurosurgery that they didn't need. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Jason Dreyer worked at Providence St. Mary's in Walla Walla, and between 2013 and 2018, he and another doctor allegedly billed Medicare, Medicaid, and other federal health care programs for procedures that didn't need to happen. Last year, Providence agreed to pay more than $22 million to resolve that case. The settlement with the individual doctor also bans him from working with federal health care programs for at least 9 years. First responders had to use saws to rescue a person and a dog from a crash on Road 68 in Pasco Monday morning. First responders told us one driver cut in front of the other, and trying to avoid a crash, the second driver flipped their vehicle onto its side. We're told there were no serious injuries from the crash, and crews were able to get the road back open pretty quickly. A traffic alert for drivers in the Horn Rapids area. Crews began work yesterday on a new roundabout connecting State Route 240 with State Route 225 and Hanford Route 10. They'll be working on that from 7 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. weekdays. There are not many options for a detour in that area, so WashDOT says they will close down one lane at a time as needed. In Kennewick, crews just wrapped up work on a new underpass in the Southridge area. This is to help drivers get across 395 without having to wait for the traffic light and without having to slow down traffic on the highway. WashDOT says drivers will be able to cross under the highway on Ridgeline Drive. You'll also be able to get to and from the highway at that interchange. We will return in just a moment, but first, Riley, let's talk a little bit about the weather.
So we are seeing some beautiful conditions across the rest of the week. We're taking a look outside the Columbia Point Sky Cam in Richland. The sun's coming up in just a little bit, so it's still a little dark out. We'll have more of your forecast coming up.
And a local Future Farmers of America chapter is looking to help you get your home a bit greener just in time for spring. How you can add to or start your garden next on Good Morning Northwest.
100% ribeye beef in a burger. Yep, 100% ribeye beef in a burger. My Ribeye Steakhouse burgers, all the flavor of a juicy ribeye steak in a burger. Did I mention they're made with 100% ribeye beef?
Smoky. Music and memories. Live in concert. Smokey Robinson. Saturday, May 13th, 8 p.m., Legends Casino Hotel. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Make an experience this weekend to Vapiano. Relax in the country, experience the wine, and share in the joy. Vapiano awaits you and your friends. Make it a day to remember. Vapiano Estate and Winery. Slow down, enjoy the journey.
Did you know the most common mosquito in our area can travel 5 to 8 miles? Here at Benton County Mosquito Control, our objective is to provide effective mosquito control for your home, neighborhood, and community. Our friendly mosquito control technicians use mosquito population monitoring, educational programming, and a variety of field techniques to reduce mosquitoes in your area. Reduce areas of standing water around your home to help control mosquitoes. For more help, give us a call or visit us online at www.mosquitocontrol.org. Benton County Mosquito Control, where your comfort and health become a priority.
Whether you're looking for your next houseplant, getting those spring flowers in the ground, or planting your dream garden landscape, Queensgate Gardens is the place to go. Queensgate Gardens in Richland. Let's grow together.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Right now, save $50 on the FSA 57 battery trimmer. Real STIHL. Find yours.
Ensuring your loved ones are taken care of is so important, but finding the time to help can be challenging. That's where Visiting Angels comes in. Our compassionate caregivers and Visiting Angels team can manage the day-to-day in-home assistance your loved ones need. We offer award-winning care on your terms, nationally known, locally owned. Call us today at 509-582-7800 for a free consultation, or visit us online at visitingangels.com/Kennewick.
Miranda tweets, I've had trust issues since Jack in the Box discontinued French toast sticks. We'll open that circle of trust again, Miranda, because my French toast sticks are back in 3 or 6 pieces. But then they'll be gone again. It's a pattern. French toast sticks are back starting at $2.
Portion of KFKV sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
If you need a reason to justify buying more plants for your garden, how about supporting a local FFA chapter? Pasco High's plant sale starts this Wednesday, April 26th, and runs through Saturday. Students have been working for months to raise and care for various plants in their horticulture class. They'll have everything from flowers to vegetables ready to transplant into your garden.
This is one of our biggest fundraisers, so it helps us with buying new jackets for new members or traveling to places like Spokane. It's a big way to get our fundraising and be able to help these members explore career pathways.
They've also grown indoor plants that will be available for purchase in addition to fairy gardens. Pasco High isn't the only school hosting a plant sale. We'll have the details on Chiawanna's sale coming up in May online on yaktrynews.com. It's your chance to purchase wristbands to this year's Benton Franklin Fair and Rodeo. The fair takes place in August. However, this Saturday you can buy wristbands for $30, $10 less than at the fair. Wristbands are good for one day of fair rides between August 22nd and 26th. You'll receive a voucher to exchange for a wristband at the fair. The wristband sale takes place Saturday at Ranch and Home in Kennewick between 8 in the morning and 8 p.m. STCU and Cap KVU Local News are looking for community volunteers in Benton and Franklin counties who go that extra step helping us all. If you know someone like this, please nominate them by clicking on contests at yaktrynews.com. Every 6 weeks or so, we choose a volunteer to profile on Cap KVU Local News, and STCU awards his or her organization a $1,000 donation. Thank you for nominating someone, and a big thank you to all volunteers who make our communities stronger. Coming up, as businesses continue to feel the impact of the pandemic, one area in particular may never be the same again, as business trips are at the lowest we've seen in years. And Riley Fitzgerald will return with a look at your First Alert forecast.
KFC's Wednesday Country Fried Steak Meal is a delicious value, complete with mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a biscuit, all for the incredible price of just $5.99. Really, what's left to say? How about see you again next Wednesday? Country Fried Steak Meal, just $5.99, only at KFC.
Time for a new roof? Let Eminent Roofing replace it with a product so good, you'll never have to replace it again. Our roofs come with a limited lifetime warranty. Never replace your roof again.
With the rain and wind comes roof damage. Don't wait till it's an emergency. Call today to receive 0% financing on approved credit.
So if it's time for a new roof or siding, let Eminent Roofing replace it with our certified installers.
Because when it's all said and done, this is the sign you'll want in your yard.
Shelter. Out here, it's the most important thing. But the good thing is, my Ford F-150 provides enough power to keep working.
Get a great deal on an F-150, only at your local Ford dealer.
This is a town called Basic. It's pretty hard to stand out around here. But if you pull up in a 2023 Nissan Rogue, you'll stand out before your feet even hit the pavement.
Can you make mine look like that?
Anything but basic. The 2023 Nissan Rogue. Get a low $399 per month lease on Rogue or get 0% financing for 36 months on select models.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups, or get $2,250 total cash allowance on a 2023 Silverado with a turbo high output engine. See your community Chevy dealers.
Homeowners, Washington is moving to renewable power. Consider an investment in green energy. Rooftop solar with Solar Power Northwest, a true one-stop shop. Solar Power Northwest, a better way to solar.
When it comes to supplying the farm, come to Northwest Farm Supply. Your hometown store has a wide selection of everything egg-related. Plus, we're the largest Purina dealer in Hermiston. Products you trust from people who care. Northwest Farm Supply in Prosser, Hermiston, and Othello.
That sound. Wolves. Boy, they sound hungry.
Load up, wolves! Good thing this Ford Explorer has Sync 3 technology. Keeps them entertained on the way to dinner.
Get a great deal on an Explorer, only at your local Ford dealer.
I remember when you get a whole meal for $5.
Yeah, it was last Tuesday.
Oh.
And every Tuesday at A&W, where single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. The good old days are here again. A complete meal for just $5. Tuesdays only at A&W.
Smoke City for Less. We are open 7 days a week with now 5 locations.
Now, Cap KVUE First Alert weather.
Well, we're taking a live look outside the Columbia Point Skycam in Richland. It's starting to feel like spring as our beautiful conditions make our way in. Let's take a look at our full forecast. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. We've been on a warming trend for the last couple of weeks now, and we're finally starting to see some of the results of that. It's a little bit windy today. As we get into those hot temps, those winds might be a little bit appreciated. For our futurecast, we're seeing just beautiful conditions throughout our Tuesday, barely even cloudy across our day today. Into Wednesday, we are seeing a little bit of cloud coverage, but there is definitely nothing to complain about for the next couple days in our areas. For our wind outlook, we are seeing just a little bit of wind staying around 10 degrees throughout the rest of our week, raising a little bit into our Sunday. Again, as our temperatures raise, we can definitely see them here on our temperature trend. We might appreciate those winds coming up. So we're staying around 70 degrees, which is actually our average. We've been seeing around 5 to 10 degrees below our average temps for the last couple weeks now, and we're finally getting to that point and definitely beyond it over the next couple days, definitely into our weekend. For our temperatures today, we are seeing around the upper 60s in the Yakima area. In the Mid-Columbia, we're staying around 70 degrees. And over in the Blues, we're staying in the mid-60s. Very nice across our conditions today. Definitely they're going to be raising throughout the next couple days. For our temperatures tonight, we're seeing around 40s across all of our regions, just slightly cloudy as we get into tonight. For our 7-day forecast, around 69 degrees for Tuesday, staying in the upper 70s for the next couple days, and into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're seeing the 80-degree conditions. And a trend that we've been seeing for the last couple weeks is our Mondays, the start of our work weeks. Our temperatures drop down just a little bit. That's something we're seeing in Yakima. That's also something we're seeing in the Tri-Cities. Starting our Tuesday at 70 degrees, upper 70s for the next couple days, and into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 80-degree conditions. It's going to start to feel like spring, but also kind of start to feel like summer by the weekend. Again, dropping into our Monday conditions. Again, our overnight lows are staying just a little bit chilly, so you might still need a jacket on the way out of the house, but you can definitely drop it by midday. Back to you.
Thank you, Riley. Higher airfares and room rates leading more companies to put fewer trips on their employees' itineraries than they did before the pandemic. And according to a recent report, those aren't the only reasons why business travel may not be bouncing back to normal anytime soon. Shelley Malashi has a look at the social shifts reshaping corporate travel.
Soaring costs, tighter corporate budgets, and new ways of virtual working could be permanently changing business travel. While leisure travel has returned to pre-pandemic levels, corporate travel is having a slower return to normal, even as it starts to take off again.
Travel is renormalizing in 2023. That's the big story.
Travel today looks much more like it did in 2019 than it has any of the past 3 years.
According to a recent travel report from Deloitte, corporate travel is facing major hurdles to returning to pre-pandemic levels. Travel managers cite higher travel costs, soaring airfare and hotel rates, tighter corporate budgets, growing adoption of virtual meetings, replacing in-person meetings and conferences, and climate and sustainability goals. The report found travel managers at 4 in 10 surveyed companies say they are shifting their policies to decrease the environmental impact of their corporate travel. It comes as the airline industry works to recover financially from the pandemic.
We are getting back to 2019 numbers, but we are flying 10% fewer flights a day than we did, and that's because we've had to adjust our schedules to meet the demand and make sure that we're not putting too much demand on the system.
The Deloitte report also found corporate managers are increasingly weighing employee safety and willingness to fly, and whether clients are interested and willing to meet in person.
The U.S. manufacturing industry could see layoffs this year now that the supply chain is running more smoothly. Wells Fargo economists predict companies should be caught up on the pandemic backlog in about 5 months. Meanwhile, demand is falling as consumers and businesses rein in their spending on manufactured goods. Surveys from the Institute for Supply Management show the sector already has been contracting for several months. Disney says it's laying off several thousand workers across the company this week. The cuts affect its Parks, Entertainment Division and Experiences and Products Division, as well as ESPN. This is the second of 3 waves of layoffs for a total elimination of 7,000 jobs. That's about 3% of Disney's global workforce. Chief Executive Bob Iger says the goal is to save $5.5 billion in costs. He says shareholders should start receiving dividend payments in February after a pandemic suspension. We turn now to changes in the mortgage industry that could mean higher costs for homebuyers with a good credit score and lower costs for those with a lower credit score. It's all because of a new federal rule. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
It's a change many homeowners will find surprising. Beginning next month, some people with good credit scores may actually end up paying higher mortgage fees, while those with lower credit scores will pay less.
Because of these changes, the advantage of having a higher credit score or making a larger down payment is not as big as it used to be.
It's a new federal rule going into effect May 1st.
The change that the administration made is meant to make it easier for borrowers who have a lower credit score.
The goal is to boost affordable housing and provide more equitable access to homeownership.
The administration's stated purpose behind making these changes is to help make it easier for borrowers who have historically been disadvantaged and have had a hard time accessing credit.
First-time home buyers with credit scores ranging from 720 and 760, for example, could pay more under the new rule.
They could see an extra $2,600 on a mortgage of $350,000. It is real money, but not enough to break the bank.
Critics say the rule subsidizes homeowners who shouldn't be getting a mortgage in the first place.
It's another subsidy.
Experts say the biggest increases could be felt by those who put 15 to 20% down on a home.
You might choose to put down a somewhat smaller down payment, say 5% instead of 7%, and that might make a difference for you.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The new rule also makes it more expensive for borrowers to refinance. When we return on Good Morning Northwest, a movie theater in Alaska had quite the unexpected guest over the weekend. How a moose wound up inside the lobby, next.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Now through June 30th, receive rebates up to $2,100 off on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating and Air.
Your roof protects your home and family every day. Shouldn't it be the best roof possible? With Air Roofing, a family-owned business in Prosser, you'll see why our customer reviews speak for themselves. No job too small, big enough to take care of your roofing needs. Air Roofing, a company built on quality and reputation.
Welcome to the Village Bistro. We're happy you're here. I wanted to share with you some of the things we have on our menu. One of my favorite things is our lemon ricotta pancakes, topped with blueberries and powdered sugar and butter, and oh my, they are so delicious. You gotta try our 4-cheese mac and cheese or burgers. Some say they're the best in town. We love to get to know each customer that comes in, and we want you to feel like family when you're with us.
At the Blue Mountain Station in Dayton, Washington, we invest in community. Our partners include Sweet Cheeks Bake Shop, Cedar Rain Spirits, Onyx Farms, Ray's Roast, Red Band Cellars, Bard and Bead Meadery, and the Co-op and Commercial Kitchen. We invite you to explore Dayton today.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During our spring tire sale, we watch out for your wallet too. Save up to $175 when you buy select tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires.
Get $750 purchase allowance on most 2023 Cadillac CT4 and CT5 models. Visit your Yakima and Tri-Cities Cadillac dealer today.
This newscast sponsored by WAGrant.org. That's WAGrant.org.
It is 5:27 on this Tuesday morning. Welcome back. Parents of small children may know the book title, If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. In a real-life event mirroring literature, a moose recently decided to head into a theater.
Workers at the cinema in Kenai were surprised to see the animal walk right through the door and into the lobby at about 8 p.m. It happened after workers propped open a door to let cool air in, but the moose wasn't interested in checking out the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my goodness, look at him. Well, instead, it found some popcorn left near a trash can. The moose spent 5 minutes chowing down before workers coaxed it back outside. They say the moose was young and say they wouldn't have tried that if it was an adult. Probably a good idea.
Yes.
Moose, they can be a bit dangerous.
100%. It's definitely having a look around there. I mean, keeping the door open may be a good idea as it's getting a little warmer outside. I'll have a look at your first alert weather conditions. Those are coming up.
And coming up on Good Morning Northwest, major names in cable news are out in the aftermath of Fox News' $787 million defamation settlement. And the FAA is looking into a pair of fires that broke out on board 2 American Airlines flights.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple is reportedly dropping support for some iPads. A French tech website says both sizes of the first generation iPad Pro and the 5th generation of the device will no longer be supported. The move will reportedly be made with the release of the new iPad operating system. Next, an upgrade to Google Authenticator. The app will now sync 2-factor authentication codes to your Google account. That means when you set up a new phone, it will be ready to go without a separate setup process. This change addresses a long-time customer request. Aura smart rings will soon be available at Best Buy stores all across the country. The sleek wearable can track heart rate, body temperature, and sleep metrics. The partnership will allow buyers to try on the rings and to get a sort of a test drive. Any rings not in stock can be ordered for store pickup. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
When we started Blue Buffalo, we made a promise to our boy Blue that we would create the best pet food we possibly could, made with the finest natural ingredients and none of the things you find in many other pet foods. We call it the True Blue Promise, and it's our commitment to feed your pet just like we would feed Blue. It's what makes Blue Buffalo unlike other pet food companies, which have many different brands with different standards. We have one standard, the one inspired by our boy Blue for the well-being of your dog or cat. Because like you, we love them like family too.
Want to leave works all day so I can keep working my magic. Just want to leave 12 hours of uninterrupted arthritis pain relief. Aleve, who do you take it for?
Dove 0% is different. We left aluminum out and put unbeatable 48-hour freshness and 1/4 moisturizers in. Dove 0% aluminum deodorant. Instantly dry feel and kind on skin.
After Fox News' $787 million defamation settlement, one of their top on-air personalities is now off the network. And a pair of fires broke out on board 2 American Airlines flights, prompting the FAA to launch an investigation into the causes.
And we have a look at your morning conditions. The sun is rising. That's a look in Richland at the Columbia Point Skycam. Your first alert weather forecast right now.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Riley Fitzgerald.
And Riley, we have a beautiful day in store.
We do. It's a beautiful day ahead and a beautiful look at the rest of the week. Let's take a look at your first alert weather forecast. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're going to see an amazing week ahead of us. We're on a warming trend as we get towards the end of the week. A little bit of a breezy conditions, but they're lowering as we're going, and we've got some hot temps on the way. Very exciting. It's going to feel like spring by this week and maybe even summer into the weekend. Very excited about it. Let's talk about the daily planner. We're starting today in the mid 40s and reaching the late 60s in Yakima. In the Tri-Cities, going to be reaching the 70-degree mark. We're seeing a lot of sun and a lot of clouds this entire week long. And in the Walla Walla area, 48 into 66 degrees. Beautiful conditions coming up. I'll have more on my full forecast coming up.
New this morning, President Biden has formally announced that he is running for re-election in 2024. In a video released on the 4-year anniversary of his first declaration for the White House, Biden asked for voters to give him more time to finish the job he began when he first took office. He also asked Americans to set aside their concerns about re-electing the United States' oldest president for another 4 years. And we're learning more this morning about the exit of Fox News host Tucker Carlson. He reportedly got the news 10 minutes before it was made public. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, a new message from now former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, urging his fans to sign up on his website for text alerts to find out what he's up to next after the network suddenly announced his exit.
We have some news from within our Fox family. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have mutually agreed to part ways.
Fox providing no reason. The LA Times reports the decision came from the top from Fox chairman Rupert Murdoch after months of internal turmoil. Just last week, Fox settled a defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems over false election claims for nearly $800 million, a case that implicated Carlson and brought embarrassing text messages to light, in which he called management and colleagues at Fox pathetic. A former producer on his show also sued, claiming she was bullied and subjected to sexist and anti-Semitic comments. And the LA Times reports Carlson's coverage of the January 6th attack was also concerning to Murdoch.
They were peaceful, they were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists. They were sightseers.
Meanwhile, at CNN, anchor Don Lemon is out.
A lot to discuss this morning. So good morning, everyone.
Lemon tweeting that he's stunned, claiming he wasn't told directly by management, but CNN says Lemon was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. He had faced backlash for his comments about former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley's presidential run.
Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
Lemon was suspended in February. He also denied accusations of workplace misogyny.
Back to Fox, the company's stock fell after the news about Tucker Carlson wiping out $500 million in market value. The company is still facing another major defamation lawsuit from another voting system company. Smartmatic is seeking $2.7 billion. The Department of Homeland Security is warning about domestic extremists attacking U.S. power stations with guns. According to a DHS bulletin released Monday, extremists are promoting and sharing tactics online about that and how to disable key components of the power grid. DHS says the information exchanges are likely to escalate the threat to U.S. infrastructure. The bulletin follows a flurry of recent attacks and vandalism. They include gunfire that knocked out power for tens of thousands of North Carolina residents last December. According to the FBI, some of the plotters have extreme ideologies about race or ethnicity and hope to create civil disorder. Most utilities in the U.S. run drills for how to handle such attacks. Two separate American Airlines flights took an unexpected turn over the past few days as passengers looked out their windows and saw flames coming from the plane. No one was hurt in either incident, but as the Federal Aviation Administration investigates, a common problem which could be to blame for one of the incidents is coming to light. Emily Schmidt reports.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
The words no one wants to hear from a cockpit came as an Ohio jogger heard a strange noise above him Sunday and saw from below what others saw and recorded out their windows.
There was extreme rumbling, vibrations, noise was deafening.
There was a lot of hand holding, a lot of people closing their eyes and trying to text their loved ones and so forth like that. So it was scary.
Engine's on fire.
3 days earlier, passengers on American Airlines Flight 2288, waiting to take off from Charlotte to Dallas-Fort Worth, saw something similar.
The pilots will get on and let us know what's going on.
The FAA is investigating a possible engine fire for that flight. Sunday's pilots quickly identified what they believe to be the mid-air problem.
We had a bird strike and an engine failure.
The FAA says there were more than 17,000 wildlife strikes with airplanes in 2022, with more happening every year. This collision happened on a Delta flight earlier this month.
From last year to this year, they're up a third, so it's really quite dramatic. And the trending up of the statistics actually tracks with the trending up of the bird populations.
Airports are working to scare birds away with flares and noises, relocating them and building runways away from wetlands. It's an attempt to keep nature in check and get passengers safely to their destinations. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
All right, we will return in just a moment, but first, Riley, let's talk a little bit about the weather.
Yes, so we've got some beautiful conditions. It's kind of starting to feel like spring is here and maybe even summer coming this weekend. I'll have more details on what to expect in our first alert weather forecast.
And studies are showing that a poor environment at work can have a bigger impact on our mental health than we may have initially thought.
Let a Mattress Depot USA sleep specialist put you on the mattress that matches your sleeping habits.
Stop by today. You'll sleep better tonight.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
When you own a Ford, you get more than a vehicle. You get the benefit of having your vehicle picked up for service.
Here for the Explorer. There you go. All right, we'll get it right back to you.
This is U-Mode.
All the convenience of owning a Ford with a local partner. Corwin Ford Tri-Cities.
To start your 4-cheese mac and cheese, you want to put about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan. And then while that's heating up on a medium to medium high heat, we're going to add heavy cream. And you're just going to coat the bottom of the pan. It's about a cup to a cup and a half that we're using here. And we just want the cream to get heated through and the butter to melt before we add our cheese. We use mozzarella, it gives it that nice stringiness. Parmesan, which gives it a salty and nutty flavor. Cheddar, because cheddar, mac and cheese. And then I use a smoked Gouda, and that gives it its smoky, creamy flavor. You have about a 1/4 cup of each cheese in here. But you keep it moving because you don't want to burn your cream. Otherwise, you're going to have a sour milk tasting sauce, and that's not good. We're going to add our pasta. We're using macaroni noodles. This is 7 ounces by weight of cooked pasta. And you can see it's getting all incorporated. The cheeses are melting. Now we're going to turn the heat off. It's okay that everything's not completely melted and combined because this is going to go into the oven. Now we're going to put it into the pan. I'm using an oven-safe disposable pan, and it's perfect for takeout. Breadcrumbs. I'm just using a seasoned breadcrumbs. I like to top my mac and cheese with bacon. Now this is going to go into a 450-degree oven for about 6 minutes. And there's your 4-cheese mac and cheese.
Pure Filtration Products is your Inland Northwest air quality specialist. We offer filtration products for all your commercial, industrial, and manufacturing needs. From cooling towers to industrial dust collection systems, commercial buildings, schools, hospitals, or manufacturing facilities, we have you covered. Call today and schedule your free facility site evaluation. We'll send a certified air filter specialist to your site to evaluate your filter requirements. Call or click today. Pure Filtration Products.
At Mattress Depot USA, we realize your top priority is to get a quality mattress at a great price.
And it never hurts to do business with someone local.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
This newscast sponsored by Mattress Depot USA.
Welcome back. Working late nights, inflexible schedules, or having no paid sick leave can have a big impact on your mental health. That's according to a new report from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC says about 1 in 37 working adults experienced serious psychological distress in 2021. Some experienced negative feelings so severe that it impaired social and occupational functioning and required treatment. According to the report, people working the night shift were twice as likely to report serious psychological distress than those on day shift. Rates of distress were also significantly higher among workers who did not have paid sick leave and those with inconsistent schedule and pay. Experts say a lack of control is at the heart of many of these work conditions linked to poor mental health. While depression might have you reaching for comfort food, and for many people that's something fried, but researchers are now saying that might actually make things worse. A research team in China found that eating fried food, especially French fries, on a regular basis was linked to a higher risk of anxiety and depression. Now, with humans, it's not clear which came first, the depression or the fatty foods. But researchers actually looked at how fish responded to a chemical that forms when you deep fry something, especially potatoes. And they found that the fish exposed to that chemical were more likely to show signs of depression. If you ever got sick with COVID, did you notice your dog acting any differently? A new study shows they're pretty good at detecting it. Researchers in California trained 2 Labrador retrievers to sniff for volatile organic compounds on people's ankles. They brought them to 27 schools, and it turns out the dogs detected 85 infections and ruled out more than 3,400 others. But the dogs also alerted to 383 false positives and missed 18 infections. That's okay, according to the researchers, who say the point is to be non-invasive, not to replace antigen testing entirely. The results were published in Monday's edition of JAMA Pediatrics. Coming up, a church on the west side is bombarded with hate mail after spreading a message of acceptance and love. And we will return with a look at your First Alert weather forecast. That's next.
Portion of KFKV sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
KFC's Wednesday Country Fried Steak Meal is a delicious value, complete with mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a biscuit, all for the incredible price of just $5.99. Really, what's left to say? How about see you again next Wednesday? Country Fried Steak Meal, just $5.99, only at KFC.
Time for a new roof? Let M&M Roofing replace it with the product so good, you'll never have to replace it again. All roofs come with the limited lifetime warranty. Never replace your roof again.
With the rain and wind comes roof damage. Don't wait till it's an emergency. Call today to receive 0% financing on approved credit.
So if it's time for a new roof or siding, let Eminent Roofing replace it with our certified installers.
Because when it's all said and done, this is the sign you'll want in your yard.
If you're injured on the job, you need an experienced workers' compensation attorney.
Workers' compensation is complex. It has its own laws, doctors, courts, and judges.
For years as an assistant attorney general, I represented labor and industries. Now, I fight for injured workers.
If you can't work, let us go to work to get you benefits.
Call toll-free 1-888-665-8630, Bothwell and Hamill.
When great food meets delivery, people just smile. Taste and See Deli in Yakima offers delicious catering that's home-cooked like family. And whether you need a dozen box lunches or 100 breakfast burritos, we've got you covered. Give us a call or stop by. Taste and See Deli.
Homeowners, Washington is moving to renewable power. Consider an investment in green energy.
Rooftop solar with Solar Power Northwest, a true one-stop shop. Solar Power Northwest, a better way to solar.
Watch me. Watch me tumble, jump, and soar. When our squad is on point, we own the floor. Dazzling stunts and dances are my jam. Pain once caused issues, but they had a plan. A life-changing brace with no surgery to fear. Activity without limits, one more reason to cheer. Watch me. Industry-leading scoliosis treatment at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, Hermiston, and West Richland. Every location is conveniently located and gives you the lowest prices and largest selection of vape mods, the best batteries, tobacco products, kratom, and specialty products too. We have something for everyone, including gift cards for any occasion. Check out the specials and deals today. Open 7 days a week in 5 locations: Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, Hermiston, and West Richland. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
I remember when you get a whole meal for $5.
Yeah, it was last Tuesday.
Oh.
And every Tuesday at A&W, where single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. The good old days are here again. A complete meal for just $5. Tuesdays only at A&W.
Now, Cap KVUE First Alert Weather.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. We've been on a warming trend for the last couple weeks now, and we're finally starting to see some of the results of that. It's a little bit windy today. As we get into those hot temps, those winds might be a little bit appreciated. For our futurecast, we're seeing just beautiful conditions throughout our Tuesday, barely even cloudy across our day today. Into Wednesday, we are seeing a little bit of cloud coverage, but there is definitely nothing to complain about for the next couple days in our areas. For our wind outlook, we are seeing just a little bit of wind, staying around 10 degrees throughout the rest of our week, raising a little bit into our Sunday. Again, as our temperatures raise, we can definitely see them here on our temperature trend. We might appreciate those winds coming up. So we're staying around 70 degrees, which is actually our average. We've been seeing around 5 to 10 degrees below our average temps for the last couple weeks now, and we're finally getting to that point and definitely beyond it over the next couple days, definitely into our weekend. For our temperatures today, we are seeing around the upper 60s in the Yakima area. In the Mid-Columbia, we're staying around 70 degrees. And over in the Blues, we're staying in the mid-60s. Very nice across our conditions today. Definitely they're going to be raising throughout the next couple days. For our temperatures tonight, we're seeing around 40s across all of our regions, just slightly cloudy as we get into tonight. For our 7-day forecast, around 69 degrees for Tuesday, staying in the upper 70s for the next couple days, and into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're seeing the 80-degree conditions. And a trend that we've been seeing for the last couple weeks is our Mondays, the start of our work weeks. Our temperatures drop down just a little bit. That's something we're seeing in Yakima. That's also something we're seeing in the Tri-Cities. Starting our Tuesday at 70 degrees, upper 70s for the next couple days, and into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 80-degree conditions. It's going to start to feel like spring, but also kind of start to feel like summer by the weekend. Again, dropping into our Monday conditions. Again, our overnight lows are staying just a little bit chilly, so you might still need a jacket on the way out of the house, but you can definitely drop it by midday. Back to you.
A church congregation in Edmonds in Western Washington now standing up against hate after someone targeting the church placed hate-filled and violent flyers around the parking lot. Brittany Tulis has the details.
That's a very visible way of saying that we welcome and serve everyone. And it's one of the reasons I said yes to coming here.
Pastor Ann, leading Edmonds United Methodist Church for 4 years now. She says the church's acceptance of all community members is why she loves it here. Pastor Donna, here for less than a year, echoing that feeling. But that beacon of inclusion also made them a target.
The flyers were placed here at this church because of our messages of inclusion that are on our electronic reader board. Sometime during the second worship service last Sunday, someone, unbeknownst to us, placed some very violent, pornographic, homophobic transphobic flyers on cars in our parking lot.
Those flyers, put there by someone Edmonds police is still looking for, also had a call to arms.
I was initially really disturbed and sad. I think it's very easy in a moment like this to turn inward and to say, you know what, we should be fearful.
Instead, a week later, the messages of acceptance and love are still surrounding the church. And on May 2nd, people will be surrounding the church, showing their love and acceptance.
It'll be a sacred space of collective lament, but also a sacred space of collective action, so that this form of hatred cannot continue anymore.
The High Desert Museum in Bend, Oregon has a wild new exhibit, a live bobcat kitten. Visitors are just now getting a chance to see him. The 8-month-old bobcat has been at the museum since October. The kitten was found alone in a suburb of Portland. Fish and Wildlife officials tried to reunite him with his mother, but he was found alone again in the same area, so they took him to the museum. The bobcat was just 3 pounds when he arrived. Now he weighs more than 15 pounds. Officials haven't selected a name for him yet. They plan to have a fundraiser in August to sell the rights to name him.
They're an interesting animal because they're pretty cryptic. People don't see them that often when you're out hiking. It's pretty special to see a wild bobcat. So it's nice to have one in the exhibit that people can come and learn about. And he's got a huge personality. He's very active, very rambunctious, very confident. Yeah, and he has a great time playing in this enclosure and the other enclosures where he gets time to hang out.
When we come back, a Virginia teacher is finding ways to help his students, raising money to pay off his entire school's lunch debt. How much he's already managed to raise, next.
Okay, I think we're all aware that most cell companies only give you the lowest price when you sign up for multiple lines.
What? Multiple lines?
Hello? Yeah, 1 sec. But US Cellular gives you just one line for $29.99 with unlimited data.
Just one line with unlimited data.
So you don't have to get more lines than you need.
No, you hang up.
Are you even listening, guy who never looks up from his phone?
Oh, not for me, I just say it.
Okay, so no, you're not listening.
Get one line for $29.99, plus every plan is price protected. US Cellular, built for us.
Tonight, the Will Trent two-part season finale begins.
There's a serial killer who's targeting people that lived at the children's home.
This is personal. I need to stay on this. I'm taking the case.
New Will Trent, tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Next ET, we're in Nashville with new author Miranda Lambert.
What was Brendan's reaction when you were like, honey, I'm coming up with a cookbook? He laughs. He's like, wait a minute, I do all the cooking.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on Cap KView.
Shelter. Out here, it's the most important thing. But the good thing is, my Ford F-150 provides enough power to keep working.
Get a great deal on an F-150, only at your local Ford dealer.
From Cap KView, this is Apple Valley Eats.
We see food as like a form of entertainment, so people want the experience, and I think that's something we really provide here at Proof is the way the food's presented, the way it tastes. Again, people have a lot of options when it comes to dining out, so to be able to offer something good and that tastes good and it's quality is definitely a focus of ours. So the patio is on probably the busiest street in Tri-Cities, Columbus Center Boulevard. So if you're driving by, you'll see us. It's a little loud out there, but it's a ton of fun. On a hot weekend, you can see views of the river and just all the action that happens here on Columbus Center Boulevard. Our goal with Power Up, we opened Power Up almost 4 years ago now. To be able to go and enjoy the games that a lot of us, the 30, 40, 50-year-olds grew up playing, was just has been a ton of fun for me. Yeah, so one of the fun things we offer is if you show your receipt from Proof, over at Power Up, we'll give you $5 for free tokens. So you can continue your night on there. Proof Kitchen and Bar is our location in Pasco, off of Burden. It's a larger location for sure. It also includes our karaoke bar, the Juice Box. You can rent a private karaoke room any night of the week that we're open, and it accommodates up to 17 people. I know some people love to sing, but they don't love to sing in front of strangers, so you can bring your friends and family in and enjoy that private space in your own private room, just to kind of have fun and enjoy your night.
That sound. Wolves. Boy, they sound hungry.
Load up, wolves!
Good thing this Ford Explorer has Sync 3 technology. Keeps them entertained on the way to dinner.
Get a great deal on an Explorer, only at your local Ford dealer.
Live with Kelly and Mark today at 9 on Cap KVUE.
Well, let's take a look close to home today. We are slightly cloudy across all of our regions, just a couple clouds in our areas. For Ellensburg, 66 degrees. Over in the Yakima region, 69 degrees across almost all of our cities. In the Mid-Columbia, upper 60s everywhere and lower 70s for Richland. Across the Blues, we're seeing the mid to high 60s. We're seeing some beautiful spring temperatures. That'll get warmer throughout our week. I'll have more coming up.
Well, a Virginia teacher is trying to help struggling families. The special education teacher raised more than $40,000 to pay off his entire school's lunch debt. Megan Clark has the story.
8th grade teacher Gabriel Siegel knows his students here at Hornton Middle School in Fairfax County like they're his own kids.
When I see students, like even if it's one of my students I mentor that's having a rough day, the first question I ask him isn't, hey, are you okay, or how are you? It's, did you eat today? Because the majority of the time they're not eating.
A problem Siegel first noticed talking to parents before the pandemic.
Just through conversation with them, I learned that this was a common theme of school meal debt.
In Fairfax County, middle school meals cost $3.50 with a half pint of milk, $4.10. The district says about a third of students do get free meals or help to pay. According to Capital Area Food Bank's 2022 Hunger Report, 24% of residents in Fairfax County, where the median household income is more than $100,000, struggle with food insecurity.
So if you have a family of 4 and they're all eating lunch, that can quickly add up.
With inflation sticking around, Siegel, the adopted son of 2 FCPS high school teachers, decided to carry on the legacy of caring for kids.
And my whole point is to not only raise money, but also raise awareness.
He now spends hours each week calling nonprofits. His effort featured in the Washington Post earlier this year. And since then, he's raised even more for a total of more than $40,000. And this isn't the first time Mr. Siegel paid off student lunch debt. The last time he did this, he used his stimulus check to pay off more than $600 in student lunch debt at Sleepy Hollow Elementary. As Siegel says, meal debt in Fairfax County is nearing $1 million. He wants to keep the message going, now meeting with county and state leaders to get free lunches in all Virginia schools, no matter what parents make.
Because a lot of families need help. I mean, it's just that simple. If I can impact, just one family or even dozens, I know I've done something pretty special.
Oh my goodness, teachers just don't get the recognition they deserve.
They don't.
They always do so much for kids.
Story. All right, let's take a live look outside. We're gonna look at the Columbia Point sky cam. The sun's coming up. It doesn't look like it's very cloudy. I'll have more of what to look for the rest of your day. That's coming up.
Plus, with a state drug possession law failing to get passed in time, what will happen once the current measure expires in July? And the body of a Kennewick teenager has been recovered on a Benton County railroad track. Good Morning Northwest continues right now.
From Cap KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Riley Fitzgerald.
And Riley, you've been mentioning it all morning, but we